Ah, hello everyone, and happy freaking Sunday. Oh my God, good evening, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are in the world. Happy to have you here. Let the live chat shuffle on in here, and we're gonna get started. We're gonna have ourselves a lovely cup of tea, perhaps even an even lovelier conversation. It's gonna be a good day. I can already tell. You know when you just know? It's gonna be a good, pretty all right day. I think that's today, guys. How we doing? Hey! Okay, so I gotta ask you, because I see you here every other week. Is it KO or is it cow? I gotta know. Because I don't want to offend you by saying your name wrong. I don't want to be a big old goof. Don't want to be goofing. Unless it's good goofing. You know, there's definitely good goofing and bad goofing. Yeah, tell me. Either work. No! I want you to be particular because I think I've asked you that before. I want you to be particular. Like phonetically type it out for me. How you want me to say that? Because I want to make sure I say it right. Paul, we got Scout. Good morning, Scout. Good evening to you. Sorry, I got my morning allergies are kicking my butt. New boot goofing, Casey. Oh yeah, that's some good goofing right there. That's good goofing. I got some stuff I want to work on with you guys, but mainly I just want to have ourselves a conversation. But I'm a busy hands sort of a guy, so we'll be doing a couple other things. My name is pretty obvious here. Paul Brown is true. Yeah, the name is A-OK, safe for me to go out on a limb on. Yeah, it's great. I use KO most because people can't get cow most of the time. Okay. Do you want me to go with most people, or do you want me to go with like someone that's in the know? You know what I mean? This is a great name. Let's go with cow. I like that. It's fun. You know? Cupper. Do you want to say hi to nice people? Chimone, Copper. How do you do? Oh, buddy. There he is. There's Mr. Copper Dog. Cool. Yeah, cow's awesome. How's everyone doing? What's everyone working on? Oh, I got a little scrub jay. Check it out, Copper. Copper, look. Scrub jay. He's right there. Oh. Get him. Go get him. Sick him. Get him. Ready. Get that. Go get that scrub jay. Go get that scrub jay. Go get it. You gotta keep them scrub jays on their toes. Do you know what I mean? Yay! Brian, welcome, buddy. Cheers, my friend. Lawnmowers, Justin. Ooh, man. For such a simple machine, they could really have a lot of the little problem pixies in there, man. Like, goodness. Mowers can really give you the business. You know what I mean? Yeah, Copper and crew. Did you get him, Copper? And a boy. It's a good boy. Hey, any new projects? Actually, got some pretty exciting news on some of those project fronts. Right now, I still have the Steel Stampede in here. Still working on the Zodiacs. Actually did a bit of like an art thing actually at the Allegretto where I was able to explain the process a little bit. It was great. But today, one of our projects, before starting the week, Sunday's a great day to like do a little bit of work, almost like busy work, right? Work that you're like always been kind of putting off. Funky little projects like that. And today's a good day to do something that I've been putting off for a while now. This is the 12-pound hammer that I used for a lot of cold forging, right? So, like over here on my swedge block, I have that big old flywheel, and I do a lot of cold forging up on edge, the stuff you're used to seeing, right? Well, for like years now, this handle split it got dried and it split on me, and I used athletics tape to kind of keep it from, the handle exploding in my hand. I think today is the day to handle it. It's funny. I'm sure you guys are familiar with, the terminology of like, hey, can you handle this? That's what they're talking about. That's the origins of that term. Fun stuff, right? You're exhausted. Honestly, that's great. You're exhausted means you've been having fun or been, getting busy. It's great. Mono, hello. Welcome. Welcome to the chat, guys. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to knock this hammer off, knock this handle out of there, and replace it. Yeah, no, I think I'll just hang out with you guys as I'm doing that. You know what I mean? But it's a great hammer. So it's a 12-pound that I do a lot of cold forging with, and the reason I do cold forging with this 12-pound hammer is because I can, swing it for pretty much any length of time. But the actual composition, the alloy that this hammer has been forged from, is pretty tough. Not all, like for instance, this little 8-pound that I use for forging and some other cold forging applications. A lot of set tool processes I'll use this hammer on, but you can see that it has taken some beating, right? That surface there, and I don't use that to forge with because it's like a stamp. Those textures will be stamped into that bar of steel every time, right? But this darn hammer is really tough. It's a really tough hammerhead, so I actually cherish this hammer quite a bit, and it deserves a new handle because, this tears my hands up. And you can't have that. Can't have that. Is it hardened? Oh yeah, they all are, for sure, Max. Absolutely. Yeah, burn the handle. Oh, threw it in the fire and burn the handle. Oh gosh, that's not good for the axe head, but that's awesome. That's a good way to get it out of there. Just got done with a 24-hour drive. Woof. Where did you drive to? Brought my wife to Massachusetts. Very good. Tell her to see her family. Oh, that's awesome. It was such a long trek. Yeah, 24 hours is gnarly. Using hickory, yeah. Actually, I have a handle around here somewhere. And I believe it is a hickory, And this is just, a piece of handle that I had laying around. And as you can see, it's going to be a tad shorter, which is fine because I'm very rarely coming down the haft of the handle that far. Usually I'm holding about right in here. And this is very unnecessary, this last, I don't know, 4 inches here. So I think it'd actually be a lot better ergonomically because like when I'm swinging, I know I don't rest the hand. A lot of guys will do that because they haven't worked on their wrist strength. No, it's all wrist. So this handle will be a lot more akin to this 8-pound, right? Now, I never use, what the heck, Mythic? Oh, 21 months, more to come, afternoon from Texas. Mythic, thanks, buddy. You're always such a great supporter. I'm very grateful. Today we're handling hammers. Something I've been putting off for a long time. And there's also a reason I'm doing it right now. When you're handling a tool, I've been, and I use this thing regularly, and I just been kind of making it work. I'm not like some craftsmen treat their tools like the job. I treat the tools as just a tool to get the job done, right? But the reason I'm handling this thing now is because we're in the driest season. If I handle this hammer after a big old rainstorm or something like that in the dead of winter, when there's a lot of moisture in the air, then once it's summertime and that handle dries out and cures, it's going to be loose all the time. I'm going to be fighting with it all the time. So I find actually this time of year, right about the equinox, is a great time to handle, at least in my area, because it's so dry. So everything's nice and all the wood is nice and shrunk, super dry, so that everything will just but tighten up, through the raining season and all that good stuff. You know what I'm trying to say? Good afternoon, Rage. We got Rage 2. Awesome. It's quite the hammer. Damn. I know. I hear that a lot. So, sorry, Casey. But yeah, so this is what I use for cold forging. Whenever you're seeing me, bending those bars like up on edge in those big radiuses. Dry and not hot. Yes, Max. Bingo. So it's a perfect day for that. Perfect day for handling. Everything else is nice and handled. I'll be doing a little bit of boiled linseed oil. I'm also going to burnish it like I do here. I just like the finish. Also, it's really nice to burn off any texture, right? There's so much texture when it comes to, rough hewn wood. And when you have a nice smooth handle, there's a bit of tack to it. It's not sticky, but for some reason, all that surface area, it's almost like how glass, like it's hard to slide your hand across glass, right? There's a bit of a tack to it. It's a little sticky to your hand. So that's why I like to burnish my handles and oil them and sand them really nice, because I'm having to hold on to my hammer handle so much lighter. Like just my hand being around it, all that surface area, like it just kind of grabs on, right? Just having my hand touching it, right? It won't slide. It grabs. Yes, Metal Man Sam. Yeah, happy Sunday. Ooh, yeah. And you know what, Paul? Also, great comment, my friend. I never I don't know who is shaping these hammer handles. Either actually, so let's talk about hammer handles real quick. I always get sledge two-handed handles, because then I can get like 3 or so out of them. And I get to shape them how I want them because I'm very particular. So take my primary 4-pound forging hammer, like this cross peen, for instance. Like look how round that is. It's like hardly an oval, right? So when you're swinging a hammer, you're constantly matrixing. And what I mean by that is you're always using your hand to understand the orientation of the hammer handle itself, right? So just, I don't even have to look. I know exactly where I need to be striking, where I need to, where I'll be flat against the anvil, or if I'm doing some texture or fullering out with this cross peen, my hand knows where that's at. And that's because you can't see it from the base, but a very extreme, let me also look at the shine on that, just from use. But I use a very extreme oval, almost like a hatchet, if you will, so that the hammer itself has less leverage against me trying to twist in my hand. I know exactly where I can reference. I know exactly what's happening with the head without even looking at it. It's all by feel. And that comes with, years and years and years of doing this type of thing. Oh, how's the lay of the grain on the handle? It's fairly straight. I don't have any knots. I don't have any whirls. There's just, it's gonna be a piece of cake. Also, it comes with this god-awful varnish on there. Got to get rid of that. Get rid of that in a hurry. It's a good way to get blisters, you know what I mean? Hey, Woven, thanks for joining me always. And the last one to leave, hey, I can certainly party. Maybe not at Diddy's, but I could party with the best of them. But yeah, James, a very discerning eye of you. Yeah, so I'm gonna actually get my drawing knife because we need to handle this 12-pound. Been need to do it for a long time. Actually, no, I know what we need to do first. We gotta sharpen our draw knife. I think that's what our first step is going to be. Because I tell you what, no matter what you're doing, making your task enjoyable is really important. Like for cooking, for instance, having a dull knife as you're trying to chop onions and stuff. I visited a friend last night and their knives are super dull. And I'm just like, God, this is not fun. I really enjoy cooking. And when you're working with like tools that are neglected, it's not fun. Matrixing, same as indexing. Yes, Rage. Same. I mean, different, but same, right? All right, what I need is just a little stop for the Hardy. Then what I'm gonna do, good old, just get a little cheapy whetstone. I'm gonna start coarse, and then I'll go to fine, right? But a whetstone is wet, so I'm just gonna let that soak just a little bit of water. You can use oil, you can use all sorts of stuff, but it's Sunday. It's Sunday, we're gonna be easy today. Just a good old draw knife I found a long time ago. I didn't make this one. It's got a funny curve to it, but it's gonna do the job today. So you need to engrave your logo to the side of the hammerheads. I mean, Rage, that would be cool. And all you have to do is just get your angle right. And it's almost like just using your draw knife as you normally would. Also, I like to put a little bit of a curve to it so I get a little bit more surface area across my edge. And much like a chisel, one side has a bevel on it and the other side is flat. So every now and then I'm just gonna get that nice and flat against my whetstone, true that up. So I'm not laying the rag of the edge over or anything like that. I'm keeping that nice and straight. Yeah, it's a perfect little Sunday task for today. It's Sunday, right? Oh, yes. I'm not afraid of a little splinter. Don't you fret. I appreciate the concern though. And you know what? This thing wasn't very dull to begin with. I just want to put a nice hone on it. So this shouldn't take terribly long. I'm not really getting towards the edges of the handles. Don't really need to, because I'm going to be working with this thing relatively square on. Get sharper. Hey, by chance, do you teach? Sometimes, on special request. I just got flown up to do blacksmithing demos and classes up in Washington, and that was a blast. That was a stinking blast. For the last 25 years, I've just been kind of solo, teaching myself and getting better kind of on my own in a very private, personal tutelage. You know what I mean? But I'm telling you what, though, it was a really fun challenge for me to try and articulate and, in such a brief fashion, surmise so many things that I've learned and developed on my own. But it was an honor. It was an absolute honor. I enjoyed the heck out of that. Yeah, good question. But I also have an online apprenticeship program where I teach people all around the world. It's great. And you get like tons of online community stuff. Like you get a lot of bang for your buck. If you're interested in that, go check it out. It's on Patreon. But yeah, I got like 40 plus videos over there. Yeah, it's all about consistency. You know what I mean? Getting real sharp now. All right. I'm going to flip it, from coarse. Let's go to fine. And all I have is just this little hold down in my hardy hole. as a stop and I'm pulling against it. So I'm not sliding around and stuff. It's, making tasks enjoyable, I think is, part of craft and trade. Because a lot of times it's hard work what you're doing. To also make it miserable to do ain't no fun. Hey, and there's Robin. I got that. Yeah, you know what a hardy tool is, my man. Also, when I'm flipping it over, truing up that straight edge, I'm also using that opportunity to look at the shine of the bevel. Seeing how we're looking, right? She's getting sharp. Ooh, 13? Yes, that's actually exactly when I began. I started my own business building barbecues with welding. Yeah, 13 is where I began. So you're in a good spot to start things off. I think starting early is great because, you're likely still living at home and you could take, she's sharp. She real sharp. I'm going to leave her at that. But what's nice about starting young or, starting later in life where you have a bit more of a nest egg, maybe you've got some retirement that you can tap into. It's so nice that you can experiment and not have to worry about making an income. Like you can do it as an adult, right? Whatever. But starting out young when you're still living at home and you have a little bit more support, I think is great. So get in there, get some steel hot, maybe take a class. Uncle, your folks, whatever, can take you to a class. I think that'd be awesome. Maybe for an upcoming birthday or the upcoming holidays, maybe ask for a class. Find a class near you. Because then you don't have to invest in any tools yet. Go take a class, see if you enjoy it. The last thing I want to see is someone invest in a bunch of tools and then realize like, holy crap, this is hard. I hate this. You know what I mean? It's the last thing I want to see. I think that's my number one tip. Go take a class, use somebody else's tools, beat them up. You know what I mean? That's what I would say. Ooh, you have any pieces we can buy coming up? That's a great question, my friend, from one of the members. I love seeing the green because it's so easy for me to see. Yeah, perhaps. There might be another limited release soon with a project I've yet to post about. So stay tuned for that. Yeah, try to find a class near you. There should be one. No matter where you are, there's going to be one within like a day's travel, like a journey you can take and make a road trip out of it. Make it fun. Very, very good. Ooh, any tips that we can, oh yeah, sorry, I already read that. Here we go. Love you, bro. Love your work, Travis. Cheers, my friend. Happy Sunday. Hope you guys have something, warm and cozy or cool and refreshing to sip on. Kick your feet up and hang out with me a little bit. Maybe even better, get your hands busy. Do a little something, because we got this all nice and ooh, look at a little shine. Got this nice and trued up. We're going to handle this 12-pound hammer. And I'm curious, it's sitting there pretty good. I'm curious if I can knock this thing out without having to cut the handle. I'm curious, you know what I mean? Let me find a punch. A proper punch. Let's see. It's coming. Here, I want to leave you guys behind. Let me pull you over here and see if I can't show you what the heck I'm even doing. There's the banister I'm building. Yeah, there we go. Let's see if I can like angle you down. I don't know what the hell I'm doing. Don't look at me like I'm supposed to know. Oh yeah. Look at us. We're figuring it out. This is great. All right. I need a sip of tea. Ooh, breakfast time, hash browns. Oh, that's right, Rage. Yeah, you go down. You get down, buddy. All right, let's see if we can't knock this handle out. Because it's set pretty well. Even though this is a bum handle, it's set pretty good in there. Oh, my water's about to fall. There we go. Actually, you know what? Let's move him over here. Now we're thinking. All right, we're almost through. Ooh, we're almost there. But there she is. Easy peasy. I haven't had this hammerhead naked in ever? I don't even know. But I tell you what, this thing has gone through hell and back for me, so I'm very grateful for it. And I think we're gonna give it a new outfit, you know? See if I can't find my my little wedge in there. Maybe I can't bust it out of there because that's something not worth wasting. You know what I mean? Waste not. Maybe I can get that thing out of there. 'Cause I don't even know what's in here. Yeah, these are some homemakers. Because sometimes, you know, when your hammer's flying apart and it's trying to come undone and you're got steel hot, sometimes you're just like grabbing nails, you're grabbing darn near anything. Like, who knows how many years this has been in there. But this is just a piece of 1/4-inch bar that I just, in the heat of battle, flattened out and made work. We can do much better. We can do a lot better. Okay, so now we have our goal, right? We got the goal that we're trying to meet. We're gonna try and get this onto this, okay? And we're gonna use our draw knife for that. Let's see here, where do we wanna begin? I don't have soft jaws installed on this vise, but you know what, that's okay. Let's get that hammer and shifted my flattening table, but that's okay. There we go. So I want a good level of stability. Also, if our draw knife gets dull, we got our whetstone ready to rock and roll. Ooh, something based on last tea time? Oh my gosh, if you don't know what Yvonne there is talking about, we have tea every other Sunday when I'm not here in the shop. And it's great. We talk about creativity. It's the coolest darn place to be. I find all of you guys very inspiring. It's been a while, but it looks amazing. Oh, I know, this is my favorite season right here. When it like just starts to not be summer. Pretty much anything besides summer is my favorite season. All right, we're just gonna start drawing this out. Ooh, and that is nice. That is pulling chips. You know, getting your tool nice and sharp, I think is so important. You know, I hate working with a dull blade. I hate working with a dull chisel. Or, I mean, like anything. Like, if it's meant to do a job, make sure that tool does the job well. Right? Anyways, I wonder if I can give you guys like a little bit of more of a close-up on what the heck we're doing here. That could be cool. Ooh, Little like ASMR tool action. What do you guys think about that? Yeah, this is nice. And I want this to be nice and gradual because the other handle that I was using, oh, I need to give you guys like my view. How can I do that? Like put my arms around you like we're in Ghost. You know what I'm saying? Maybe like that. I don't know what I'm doing. We're experimenting. Wait, let me take you guys down a notch. Hey, bear with me. I promise it'll be worth it. Ooh, there it is. All right. But like, it's just, oh, like how wonderful. But yeah, we're getting all of that god-awful varnish they dip this stuff in. It's a little difficult with the phone in front of me, but you know what? For you guys, I'll do anything. I'm just taking my time, taking my sweet time. It's Sunday. This is just a nice little side project that we needed to do for a while, and today we're doing it at last. All right, now I don't want to get ahead of myself and do just one side. Kind of want to do this nice and evenly, and also I'm making sure that I'm good and flat, you know, indexing across this plane. And normally I don't like working with wood. Filthy tree carcasses, you know what I mean? Just nice long strokes. All right, I'm missing the chat. I miss you guys already. I want to see what you guys are saying. Hey, it's Catherine. Awesome. We would die without trees. Bonnie, I know. I just don't like working with it. You know? Yeah, see now, I don't have the phone in my way. I could actually get a little bit more busy. So I like to shape the handle after I get the handle on so that I know that it is perfectly straight. So I don't get the handle on there and all of a sudden like, ooh, it's 1 degree off. You know what I mean? You like that one, SW? All right. We're going to work on our 90s now. Making sure that I keep this good and straight. Because this is important stuff. Might just seem like some simple whittling or something like that, but no. This is actually quite crucial. Also, I don't know if you noticed this, I'm not going straight. I'm putting a bit of a cant on it. It's a little bit more gentle across the grain. Also, talking about inspiring, look at this. Like, can't you just see like lights, dotted with lights, like it's some type of sacred temple or something like that off in some lonesome field? Some cool wizard's tower, like spire? It's awesome. It's fun to just always use your imagination, you know? And just a little review, the reason I like to handle in summertime, at least late summertime, is because everything's as it's driest. You know, once the wet season kind of hits, all the wood's gonna do is swell out. But this will always be its lowest humidity, you know, it's smallest this wood will ever be. It'll never shrink, you know what I mean? Make that hammer wobbly. There's nothing worse than a wobbly hammer. Oh, when your bike handles were off center when you were kids, 100%. It's that sensory stuff, you know what I mean? Remind me of Bob Ross. Ooh, that is a huge compliment. I love that. I'm glad I can give you those vibes. I'm just hanging out, drinking some tea with you all. All right, let's see how we're doing here. Hi. Max, I have a question, but don't want you to miss it. Go ahead. Bob Ross metal version. Go ahead. I'll keep my eyes open for it. Also, I'm trying to do exactly what I'm doing here as I am at the end. So it's like, oh, the end fits perfectly, but it's about to hit into some real meat back in here. And then it gets stuck and I have to like knock the hammer back off. Like I want to keep this relatively cylindrical. Here we go. Oh, he hasn't said it yet. Okay, we're good. How long did it take you to learn all this? Oh, I learn every day, my friend. Every day I'm learning. You know, you're doing something wrong if you ever stop learning. But it's taken me 25 years to just doing, you know? Doing a whole lot of doing. No taper. So the inside of a hammer handle, it looks like an hourglass. And I want the bottom to sit just as much as the top. It's going to be and then of course there'll be a taper as it sits down right here. So there'll be a taper as it finds bottom. And then I'll cut across the center and I'll put in a wedge so that the wood itself will create that hourglass shape inside of this hammerhead. Yeah. But for this entire distance, I want it relatively symmetrical, cylindrical. And then that taper will start, climbing back here. If that makes any sense. Norwegian folklore, I love folklore from all around the world. Folklore is great. Yeah, Norwegian, like anything. I'm really into fantasy of all types. You know what I mean? That's all it is. I mean, well, it could be way more than that, obviously. But basically, it's just a great way to pass on history, cultural norms, escapism, is like storytelling. It's one of my favorite things. Hammer. All right. How are we looking? I want it pretty snug because this hammer goes through hell. This is my cold hammer. You know what I might do? I might implement some calipers. Who doesn't love a pair of calipers? I mean, am I right or am I right? So, that's how we're going to do this. I don't have my work bench. I'm over here farting around. All right, let me set this somewhere. Here, I'll put this more, make it more flat. There we go. All right, there we go. Let's get our ID, right? Ooh, what is a caliper? Boonie. A caliper is a measuring tool outside of like a tape measure, right? Usually a tape measure, you have incremental little lines that tell you how long something is. A caliper is where you have a very set dimension that you're trying to recreate. So I'm putting this thing through and seeing where I get it stuck. And that's kind of what I'm looking for, that dimension, that right there. That could be 15/16. That could be an inch and a 16th, right? It doesn't matter what it is. It's what that needs to be. So then I'm going to come over here with my from my ID to my OD, internal diameter, outer diameter. And I'm gonna grab that measure. I'm gonna grab that measurement right there. Sorry, I gotta focus here. There we go. I'm leaving it a little heavy because I want some compression. I want to work hard getting this handle on there without blowing it up. See? It doesn't fit over there. So now I have a better idea of what dimension I'm actually looking for. I hope that made some sense for you guys, right? This, getting a little bit of friction in there, but I'm able to pass it through with a little bit of ease. And that is this measurement. And I got like an 1/8 inch to go. And it disappears quick. It can get away from you really quick. Just gotta make sure I'm thinking of this, I'm thinking about this handle like it's a square, right? So I got my 1, 2, 3, and 4 position, 1, 2, 3, and 4 on this square. And I'm trying to take those down at the same rate. So now I'm looking for that measurement and take a 1/16 off of this side. I'm gonna flip it over, take a 1/16 off of that side. And then we should be getting pretty close to that 1/8 inch I need to take off. Yeah, see, there you go. It's good to be able to have the tools to be able to do this. Okay, let's see how we're doing. A lot closer. Let's do what we just did, but do it again. Keeping everything just nice and consistent. I don't know if you're able to see the chips coming off of this thing, but God, it just really pays off having a nice sharp tool that you're working with, you know? Whatever job it's doing, it's going to do it well. Yeah, welcome back. Too much already? No. Not even close. We're getting there, though. We're getting there. Because I'm just taking little bits off. I'm also looking at the shine off of the light coming in from the shop. Getting very close. But further down, we have a bit of a taper. It's a little bit wider at the base, which is okay. But I need to remember that. Okay, and once I have this vertical dimension, then we can switch to our horizontal and get a lot closer. Because the thing is going to compress a little bit. I think we got her. Okay, let's switch dimensions. Also, even if I have to knock this hammerhead off to then take some more off, that's okay. I'd rather that than take too much off and then all of a sudden, you know, the hammer handle goes halfway down the shaft, you know, to where all of a sudden now I lost all that handle I could have had on that hammer. Okay, let us get our new measurement. So last on this pair of, you know, ID calipers, we got that measurement, our vertical. We're gonna close this up and now get this dimension. And like I said, it's the smallest at the center, like it's an hourglass shape in all dimensions. Like you can kind of hear it. Listen, I'm at the top. It's loose. I'm hardly able to wiggle it towards the center. Open up a little bit. I want there to be some friction going through. Okay. Now let's transfer our measurement. From ID to OD. ID and OD would be some really cute dog names. If they were like brother and sister or something like that of the same breed. Could you imagine how cute that would be? ID and OD? Oh! Casey, do you hear that? All right. Right? Pretty good. Pretty good. All right. Now this is what we're looking for. Across the cheeks of the set. And I got a long ways to go. We need to get a little bit more aggressive with our drawing knife. Actually, I'm going to put a little, so I'm not having to bend down and look. Making sure that we are nice and flat. Because, man, if I get out of sorts, oh, it's just no bueno. Garfield? Is that the dog's name in Garfield? I haven't seen Garfield since I was a little kid. SDW. Does getting this perfect measurement in the summer when the wood is expanded cause issues in the winter? No, it'll just be under more compression, which, hey, is great. It'll never, I mean, I couldn't imagine, I've never in my 25 years ever seen a handle too tight. Nothing's ever happened from a handle being too tight. Too loose, on the other hand, wildly different story. No, so that's exactly why I'm doing this in the summer. Everything is at its driest. Everything is super duper dried out and shrunken. So that if I get this thing handled perfect, it's gonna be perfect for pretty much ever. As long as I keep it, got a little bit of moisture in there, soaking in some linseed oil into the end grain, all that good stuff. That's what she said. Redbeard, there are so many innuendos to be had here. It's crazy. Just wait until we start sanding this thing. Oh, you have to avert your eyes. Oh shit, Paul Bunyan. Jason, get out of here. You just asked your question finally. Okay, here we go. Max, any good projects that sell at farmers markets, craft shows, like thinking blacksmith knives, hooks, bottle openers, that is that type of stuff. I think a really good thing to think about is your market. How many people are going to be able to utilize the tools, the little creations that you can utilize? Like hairpins are great because you're reaching a totally different demographic than people that are going to be popping beer bottles. Usually, I can use both those things. But I think broadening who can use your stuff, your creations, I think is really good. You can sell to a broader sum of people. Hope that helps. All right, let's get this handle out of here. So we got like a 1/4 inch to take off of this thing. So we're going to focus on like 1/8 on both sides. So we're getting a little bit more aggressive. Any tips on making batch stuff? Yeah, do one process, kind of Ford style, right? Assembly line. Do one process over a bunch of different ones, as many as you can do, so that you're just repeating that one process over and over. So, like if you have a gas forge, have like 4 objects in there, and you're doing that same process on all of them, and just do like batches of 4, and then you start to be able to time your heats, get that thing hyper efficient, and then once you got that information, then you could actually get a good cost for that piece. No copper dog. No, he's running around here. Of course he's always nearby. Never far. Just want to make sure that is good and flat. I'm handling a hammer. How should I price my stuff? Honestly, that's a big conversation. But it really helps to know what you need to make for your overhead and divide it into the sum of things that you can make in a month. That's where I would begin. All right. Let's check. Still got a ways to go. All right. It's worth taking a little bit of time to check. Also, we don't need to sharpen our knife right now because it's drawing good. It's getting a little bit more dull. It's not that fresh, crispy edge, you know what I mean? But that's all right. All right, I don't want to take too much off here. I'm also trying to maintain the oval that I know that hammer handle has, right? So I'm just flipping this thing over, making sure I got that really good zero plane. It's actually getting pretty darn close. Kind of want to see it. Oh yeah. So, because our measurement isn't right here, it's inside. So that's going to be a tight fit. But like I said, this hammer is going to be going through hell and back. This is my cold forging hammer. So this thing's striking steel cold. Man, I might as well be swinging it against, I would say concrete, but concrete's way softer than steel. It's like it's going to be getting swung against cold steel. And my distance, yeah. I think we're, you know what, man, I think we're about ready for like just a dry fit. Because I bet you I can knock that thing down in there. What do you guys think? What are you thinking? How am I doing on this beautiful Sunday? I'm doing great. I'm having a cup of tea, doing a little thing that I've been procrastinating for months, and hang out with my friends. It doesn't get much better than this. I think we can do a dry fit. Also, I don't have a wedge. A wood wedge. Wait a minute. I might have a wood wedge over here. Man, we always make one. Because I like the idea of having a wood wedge so I can really get this thing filled out, you know? I guess I could just make one. We can make one. We're handy. We're handy around here. All right. Now, I'm not going to take this center line all the way down. I'm only going to take it down to the beginning of where, on the inside of this 12-pound hammer, I'm only going to take that center line about right there because that's the beginning of the top portion of that hourglass shape that's kind of inside of this hammer. Don't need to go across the bottom. This is a push hammer, or a push saw. So I'm going to start with a pole, get everything lined up. There we go. only going to go about there. Just enough to kind of swell that end up. All right? Now, how do I want to make this little swedge? I'm tempted to make it out of the old handle that I mean, is that ironic? To make the new handle wedge out of the old handle itself? Is there irony in that? I can't quite tell. Let's go out the top is definitely better off because hoochies, man, this thing split. The reason I taped this is because it was split in half and I still had a lot to do that day. So I just wrapped it up in a hurry. Let's cut this thing off and see what actually we have to work with here. You know what I mean? Yeah, that actually looks really good. Actually looks really good. So, I'm now looking at the grain, right? Looking at the grain, what's going to be its strongest? Because I don't want to sever much grain here. I'm going to go take it right across here. A little bit further. Now, for those of you watching at home, you might notice that's not a wood saw. But also, this is not a wood shop. It's a blacksmith shop. So we're using blacksmith tools. And I think that'll about do it. It's got a little, let me do another one. I think I just cracked it. Be a good little wedge. It's gonna just give us that little extra edge, you know what I mean? Okay. Let's see here. Ha! It's gonna be perfect. What was I gonna do? What was I gonna do, guys? Can't quite remember, but I think maybe a little tea will help. You know, a little thinking tea. It's Sunday. I wasn't planning on doing much thinking. Oh, I'll be soaking it for sure. A lot of boiled linseed oil. I'm putting everything in there super dry. Everything's nice and dried out. And once it's all in there and set, that's when I soak it full of linseed oil. All of those grains are going to fill up full of oil and harden. It's going to be ready for another 10 some odd years of hard use. Isn't that teapot great? I love it too. All right, you know what? You know what we should do? Let's hunker back down. Let's get back over here. Also, I don't know about you guys, but even though I don't like working with wood, but like shavings like that and not sawdust, just so much better. Because shavings, I feel, telegraph that fun kind of old school work took place as opposed to just like saws and crap, you know? Because I hate sawdust. It makes my allergies go freaking crazy. Okay. Good old trusty 12 pound. The handle that we just, brought down with that draw knife. Got a little center line, right? Got our little wedge that we just cut out. That will go center, which is also nice that I took it out of the old handle, is that our dimension is like spot on. How about that? All right. I need fingers and toes crossed. Now, you notice I'm not banging this thing against the anvil. Anvil's pretty tough. I'm going on my wooden stump down here. It's a little bit more forgiving. Now I could oil this tip. I just don't want to get my hands all oily just yet, you know? We're just doing a dry fitting. I'm just watching down the kind of bullseye, just kind of watching it. I want this to be a snug fit. I don't want, you can't go having a wibbly wobbly hammer. There's a house for stout hammers. You know what I'm saying? Chill out, my wife is on this. Hey, I mean, you just wait until we start sanding this thing. Like, I don't know, it might get a little steamy around here. Oh, I'm already getting excited about this because I've been swinging with this hammer, beating my hands up for years. I'm so excited to be rid of it, but it also kind of boils my blood a little bit, just how like round this god-awful thing is, where the handles that I set are like Coke bottles, but they're very oval, and I can feel exactly where my hands need to be when I'm using them. Copper Dog, do you wanna say hi? You wanna take a break and say hi to these guys? Come here, Copper Dog. Come say hi. Come here, dude. Come here, Copper Dog. Come here. Oh, that's a good boy. That is 100% genuine, Mr. Copper Dog. Look at him. Look at him. Matchstick handle. Ooh, Willem, I'm not a fan. I don't like any like sharp edges or any type of an edge because, and I like a nice glossy finish because, you know, some people like carve in a bunch of texture and stuff. I like, one of actually the reasons why I burnish my handles is, I don't know if you can even see it, but there's a shine on it. And that's just from use. The oils of my hand and using it every day, all day, every day. And I hardly have to squeeze this hammer handle. I hardly even have to squeeze. Just the fact of my hand being around it is plenty of tension to where it just like sticks. It's almost tacky to my touch, but not actually sticky, tacky, you know? It's like sliding your hand across gas. Cow, thank you. Oh my gosh. His nails, I know, well, he's a dachshund, so they grow like super fast, and the root is super long. Like some other dogs, you can nip those nails to like nubs. I cut his nails and he lets me, but there's been a couple times where I've drawn a little bit of blood because I cut them back too far. They're actually, the nail beds are really long. Okay, let's see here. Let's get this thing kind of a little bit more established in there. Oh, easy, Max, easy. About lost my business. We're making some progress, but it's slow. I am tempted to come from the top down. Because I want this to be snug. I want this to be devastatingly snug. You know what I mean? Oh, the mug, oh, I can't lose my mug. Let's see here. Maybe a little rubber mallet will do the trick. Give me a little melt. Just curious if I'm making progress. I don't know, because I can split this very easily. So easily, in fact. I am making progress. I am tempted to continue. But I think I need a bigger hammer, which I have. But I really don't want to break this thing. So I'm going to use a block of wood. All right. So To set this hammer, I'm going to rely on my 16 pound. And I'm going to bring this thing down here to where I have actually a much better striking height, right? Lay that over the top. Make sure I strike well. We're getting there. I think we're making progress. Now, as you can see what's happening on the other side, that would be happening here. So we're doing good. We're doing really good. And also you notice I peek, right? I strike, I look, I strike. I'm not just going bing bong, bing bong bong, because something might have moved and I don't want to strike off center and send myself flying. It's always worth a peek. There we go. Because what I'm doing is I'm striking past this block of wood, because I can't see on the other side of it, striking past the block of wood into the handle. See how we're doing. Ooh, we are definitely making progress. Oh, also, when it comes to shaping this hammer handle, it's going to be kind of similar to this. Rather than doing a bottle shape, it's just going to be nice and straight, but have a nice pronounced, very different cheek to it. So that this hammer has way less, likelihood to twist on me versus this round store-bought piece of crap. I mean, you hardly know where the hammer's facing. Can't have that. So let's just keep going. Let's keep driving her in. Would oiling the handle be not a bad idea? Woven. It's not a bad idea. It isn't at all. Wood being end grain will swell up a little bit. Plus, I wasn't sure if this was going to be the final dimension. I might be pulling this thing out and taking a little bit of wood away again. But I think this might be it. I think this might be it. So I might put a little bit of oil just to help friction a little bit. I might do that. It's not a bad idea. I might just do that. Whoa! Grab some linseed oil. Also, who doesn't love the smell of linseed oil? It's good stuff. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to pour a little bit. Put in the cap. There we go. We don't need to be wilding. We don't need to be wilding on a Sunday. Mainly I'm focusing on kind of like, a cast iron skillet, right? Getting that oil across the inside of that hammer handle and turning it upright so it'll kind of sit in a little bit. Now, it is going to get into the end grain a little bit, which will make it swell, which not what I'm looking for. But now in the excess, I'm going to turn that over above the cap, let that sit there for a second. Okay, we got our excess out. I'm going to grab a rag from some darn place. Because I don't want oil everywhere. I don't like a bunch of oil everywhere. All right, here we go. Let's keep trying to get this thing in there. We're making progress. Just worried about that end. I'll flip this around because you can see what I'm saving this thing from, you know what I mean? Keep checking. Aha! We're getting there. Now, awareness. We're heading into the realm of awareness, right? I'm looking to see what's happening in here, But also, I'm being hyper vigilant what's happening here. Because if this taper starts to engage before this is showing wood, I don't want that. Because that'll create a shelf across this bottom, and I couldn't in the future tighten this more. It'll always engage that shelf and be loose kind of forever. No good. No good. So I'm being very aware if I need to like abort mission and take this thing out. You know what I mean? But so far so good. Fingers and toes crossed. Whoa. We're getting actually pretty darn close. We're all right. It's looking pretty darn good. Just looking for any stress cracks or anything moving. Doing stuff we don't want, you know? All right, here we go. I'm not working on a very large surface. Ooh! All right, we're looking really good, actually. See what I'm looking at? And honestly, if this thing does stay below that's okay. You know what? That's not the end of the world. Do this. Also, I'm being very aware of my 90 degree. This will help. Because I want this hammer to be set well. You know, I expect this to have a nice long life. And if it's a nice long life of kind of off, not ideal. But hey, if it has a little character, that's okay too. It's gonna feel good. Just trying to straighten that out a little bit. And I'm not getting onto this handle just yet, as you've noticed. You know, I want to get this thing where it needs to be, and then I'll work on shaping the handle. We're there, baby. We are like right there. Maybe just a little bit deeper. If she can take it, we're about to find out. That's why you wear steel toe boots. You're darn right. Yeah, there'll be people walking in my shop with flip-flops on. You go on and get. You know what, guys? I'm liking this. Now, I'm just going to do a little bit of an awkward strike on the top here because I need to get it a little straightened and not split this handle we've been working on. A little bit more. I think that's about it. Yeah. All right. Now, What I'm curious about, so you see our center line, our center cut, that thing's pretty darn close. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to get a wedge in there. And if I don't, that's okay too, because you already saw how hard it was to get in there in the first place. It's gonna be equally as hard, if not harder, to get that thing out. Hey, like, if you got a pair, Mark, you don't wanna head down that road, buddy. All right, let's get this thing in the vise and see if we can't maybe set this, this wedge, you know what I mean? My hopes aren't real high, and there's still some excess oil. That should make a little bit of lube for us. All right, let's see. I'll give you guys a nice up close shot of that. The drama of it, you know. There we go. Where's my other one that I liked? What the hell happened to it? It's around here somewhere. Well, we got this one regardless. Let's see what we can do. Like I said, hopes aren't very high. Yeah, that thing is tight. That's okay. I'll worry about wedges later, and that's all right. And now we're gonna start thinking about honing these kind of cheeks down. I'm not gonna touch this diameter. You know, I'm not gonna touch the width, but I am gonna definitely bring this way down. See if my jaws will, oh, not quite. That's okay, we'll grab the handle. So, I'm now looking very, very closely at the squareness of this handle, or sorry, of this hammerhead. I'm now building everything off of this plane from here on out. So I'm getting this nice and square. We still got our draw knife. I'm gonna clean up my workspace a little bit because a lot of this crap I don't need anymore. Because I'm definitely under the camp where if you give me the opportunity, I'll fill it full of so much crap. And all of a sudden I'm like, do you remember the movie Labyrinth? When like the lady with all the crap on her back, trying to work with that, you know? It's like, no. Let's do it, take a moment between processes to clean up a little bit. You know what I mean? We don't need a rubber mallet. Also, a little bit of tea. A little tea wouldn't hurt us. Yeah, let's get ourselves a little tea going. Also, I need to check back in with the chat. Not finished yet, no. Matt, I was thinking the same thing. You know, forging out a nice full-sized wedge. Actually, you know what? There is something here that might work. Like this right here. Here's a cutoff of some 1.25 inches that goes down to a nice plane. I can straighten that guy up, and I could very easily use that. I think that's probably the direction we're gonna go. But that's not important right now. What is important is getting the cheeks of the hammer handle down. Because right now it's just this big old round mess, and we can't have that. Oh, that's right. I was taking a tea break. It's not over till the fat lady sings, right? It's exactly right. Bradley, your live chat stopped working? That's no good. Can't have that. Yeah, for sure. Renzo, 100%, my friend. You know the struggle. Hi, welcome. All right, so I'm not touching this other dimension. What I'm gonna do is take these cheeks down, the sides of the hammer handle down, perfectly flat with the side of this hammer. And this could be actually relatively flat. You know, that's okay. Let's try actually on this plane. Nah, it's gotta be this way. Just love these curls, man. That's just great. Great and grand. Having a nice sharp tool is very important. Oh, we already did. I'm just taking my time, really. And a lot of times I'll leave a little bit of a flare out the bottom of my handle. But this time around, not so much. Try reading the page. Oh, yeah. Scout, that's a really good idea. You've been working on getting into forging forever now. What anvil would you recommend getting? Honestly, starting cheap is a great place to start. You know, because you're going to make mistakes. You're going to be fussing around for a little while. I'd say start cheap. Don't get yourself something really nice and expensive, you know, because then you have a little bit of money left over for either other tools or materials for your projects, or be able to afford time off to work on said projects. Pine and cedar, yeah, those aren't bad. I think one week we were talking about, you know, the smell of like, you know, just like, you know, burning wood, you know, smoke. Oh, because I was doing those funny little, my damn vise is not working with me here. I gotta think of a better way to hold on to this hammer so I can get further up the shaft, you know? Maybe it's this, might be that right there. Let's see here. Yeah. Try a different angle here. Hey, later, Woven. It's good to see you as always. It's hard because I'm working against the grain on this one, so I have to be very careful that this thing doesn't want to dive on me. Dive meaning it's just going to go into the wood. Try to do it a couple times on me, so I'm being extra careful on this side because I'm working into the grain. I don't know if you guys understand what that means. Other side's gonna be a lot easier. Just take my time. Some things are worth a little bit of time. Get a lot better. Favoring one side a little bit, but that's okay. We're just gonna come over here. It's getting a lot better. I already smell that linseed oil. God, it smells good. Yeah, railroad tracks you can do it, definitely. What's nice about, you know, getting even just a cheap anvil, even something beat up or something brand new from like China or something like that, they're very inexpensive. But that way you get a hardy hole and a Pritchard hole pritchard hole being your small round one, and your hardy hole being your larger square hole. But then you can utilize tooling, you can do drifts. Can't so much do that on railroad track, but if you're just drawing bar out into tapers and making things like that, railroad track will totally do it for you. You can use a big hammer as an anvil, set into a stump, carve out a little hole and put that hammer handle down. You can even have a handle on it. Just have the other half set in. You could do a lot with that. Yeah, this side's way easier. Well, not easier, just less prone to diving. Actually, kind of like that just did. You know what I mean? It wants to go this way. That's not the way we handled this thing. That's okay. Another reason I don't like wood is it's very unpredictable. Well, it's predictable to a sense, but it's still a lot of grains hidden within. What am I working on? Hey, it's Santa. I'm rehandling a hammer that I've been putting off and neglecting for a long time, and it's actually one of the workhorses of my blacksmith shop. I've been putting this off for a long time, and today's the day where, you know what, we're going to spend a little time to get this thing right. You know what I mean? Sometimes you just gotta do it. I'm going to try and preserve that a little bit. Now, I'm not drawing to finish. I'm going to sand to finish. Yeah, it's already getting way better. So I'm taking the meat off of the sides of the handle so that I can index. I know which way the hammer's facing. And when you're swinging a 12-pound hammer, you don't want this thing to get wild on you. You don't want to have an off-center strike because the thing's going to bounce away from you. No, especially when you're striking cold. Oh, Seth, that's so kind of you to say. Thank you for always staying positive. You got it, partner. Always. I mean, it's not always easy, right, in this day and age, but I feel like it's a choice. It's easy to be in the dumps. Just making sure my handle's nice and flat. So that the hammer's nice and flat, so I make the handle nice and flat. We could use a sharpen. We could use another little honing, but we're so close to the finish line. I think I'm just going to let it ride. I'm going a little less aggressive and just like shaving. We're shaving hairs now. Kind of working my way back and forth, taking my time. It's a perfect little Sunday project, right? Here in the shop, being productive, but doing one of those things that you can almost shut your brain off and just do. You know what I mean? You have a cat in your lap? Oh, I think I just broke my soapstone. Darn it, I hate when that happens. Rage. No. Oh, you like my videos? Cheers. I'm so glad you like them. It means the world to me, you know, I get to do fun stuff and I want to be able to share it with you guys. Work back this way a little bit. I think I am going to leave a little extra mass at the base of the handle so that I can also know when I'm towards the base. I have those like little physical tactile cues. You know what I mean? Also, just the sound of sharp wood cutting, it's lovely. Across this draw knife. Oh. Feeling pretty good over here, guys. All right, we're getting there. I'm gonna keep going a little bit deeper. Mainly flat across the hammer plane. Just feels good, you know? Oh, yeah, that feels so much better than this. You just can't trust these hardware store handles. You can't. They're just donuts. Timu sharpener? No idea about it. Metal wedge, perhaps? Oh, definitely, Robin. I'm definitely thinking metal wedge. A nice big one that spans the entire distance of the throat of the hammer, the eye of the hammer. I think we're about there, guys. Yes. Yeah. Nice. Nice handle to 12 pound. I'm gonna grab some sandpaper. Now I wish I had something a little bit more coarse, a little more aggressive. But we got what we got in the shop. You know what I mean? But it'll be fine. Let's see here. Let's get you settled in here. Wait, we need tea. It's Sunday. It's Sunday, chats. We need a little bit of tea. Restoration onion projects. Yeah, I've rebuilt pianos, rebuilt turret clocks from the 16th century. Oh yeah, I've done a lot of refurbishing stuff. That's where I cut a lot of my teeth originally. You know, it's important. It's good, important work to do. To do like refurbishing stuff. Yeah, that feels good. Now, I need to figure out a good way to do this without, getting taken off the air right now. You know what I mean? I don't want to miss it. Oh yeah, go ahead, Lee. I'll be looking for it. Green tea, no. I just got like a good old Earl Grey. Just a good old Earl Grey. Paul, you know what's going on. Ooh. Just do the expression. Here's what, like, because like, you see, like I want to do what's like ergonomically natural, but I think YouTube is gonna hate it. Do you make any big things like sculptures? Oh yeah, Lee. Oh yeah. We're talking massive portals and doorways that roll with hand-cut gearworks, that kaleidoscope as they do so, rolling into a giant rock, into a cave. That's what I do. I don't just make tchotchkes. It's the big stuff. I love it. Ooh, joining the apprenticeship program. Yeah, go join it. It's got a good tone to it. Also, I'm digging the like kind of rustic look. You can't really see it. Oh fuck! Oh my God! Why did I wait so long to do this? Ooh man, this 12-pound is gonna be sweet in the hand. Squeaky shaft, I know. I love building with my dad. Oh, Elena, that's an amazing gift you have. Yeah, I'm getting this thing nice and smooth because when the handle is smooth, it first of all, you're having to hold onto the hammer way less hard. You know, when I'm holding on to my usual, smithing hammer, I'm holding it like it's like a bird, soft. And when it's very smooth, it's kind of tacky. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to get it even smoother by burning it a little bit, charring it. So that I get any loose, stray little hoopty-doos, you know what I mean? And I'm making sure I get all that varnish off the sides that I didn't touch, right? I didn't touch this diameter, the outer diameter of the sides. I want to make sure I get all that nasty varnish off because that's where you'll get your blisters from. I want to take a little bit off of that right there. Do I want to, or am I okay with it? Right, the comments. I know, that's why we're doing this live, guys. I'm doing my absolute best to keep it nice and PG. Up and down, Matt, stop it. Just getting any of these rough spots. Because they might not feel like anything now. Also making sure to get the end grain on the bottom of this hammer so I can soak it full of oil. And that oil will draw into pretty much like the bundle of straws, which is the grain. I'm sure Casey's trying not to laugh. She's either trying not to laugh or rolling her eyes. I get a lot of eye rolls from her. But that probably made her laugh. I feel like there is an audience for this type of content where I could really lean into it if I wanted to sell out a little bit. It'd probably be easier to build that new shop if I did so. Just don't make eye contact. It'll just be nothing but just be nothing but eye contact. That feels good. That feels real good. Both down and high. Feels really good. Okay. All right, I got my linseed oil ready. And what's nice is I'm going to heat up this handle so that I can actually pump in quite a bit of oil into this thing. Just going to get all this god-awful sawdust out of here. Casey. All right, let's burn this thing. I wonder if how I can we'll do like this. How about that? See all those little stray guys? That's what we're doing. Burn all that crap off of there. See a little bit of varnish kind of bubbling up? We're getting that out of there too. We're just taking our time with it. Okay, now that's hot, it's thirsty for oil. All that oil is just gonna suck right in, look at that, it instantly went in there. It's a good way to get a lot of oil. Oh, this is, never mind, sorry. Sorry guys, okay. Yo, all right. Making sure to get a lot of oil into the end grain. Because the hotter this oil gets, the thinner it is. And it's able to soak through all of those tiny little crevices of the wood and all throughout the grain. It's true. It's true. Quit that. You guys are not to be trusted. It's soaking up a whole lot of oil. And I'm using boiled linseed oil. Now I'm going to come back over the top of this with some really fine sandpaper to get it, well, and honestly just use will get it down to, well, there's sawdust all over the darn thing, but get it to where it's really ready for use. I'm just going to leave it like this. Whew, she's baking hot. And that's why we do that. Also getting it on the hammerhead itself. Great antioxidation, great rust repellent. Just good, just soak it up, you know. I'm also going to, when I'm done here, I'm gonna leave a dollop of oil just sitting on the top of that, and that will get drawn into pretty much the eye of the hammer, swelling all that up. And boiled linseed oil hardens. It gets real hot and it hardens. John, 100%. It looks cooler. It functions better. Yeah, this is going to be nice. Also, I have a little bit of sanding to do after this oil kind of cures. But that's a good little Sunday project well done right there. We did it. Put this up in my vise and give this a little dab. Boom, done. Just a little dab of oil on the top, so that'll soak for a little while. And I can't do too much because also, if you don't know, boiled linseed oil has a fire hazard to it. When it starts to cure and harden, it gets really hot. It's a very thermoactive exchange that happens. So I'm gonna monitor that. Get some of this excess oil spread around my anvil because it doesn't hurt, you know. Make sure it doesn't rust as we start heading into the wetter season. You know, I got a little excess on my rag. Put that on some of the handles that have been a little neglected in this very dry heat summer. Because that's what this is my everyday swinger right there. And that's she is just the best. She is my baby right here. It's 4-pound cross peen. Just gonna give everybody a nice little drink of oil. Yay, happy Sunday. Yeah, it makes your anvil look good. Oh, 100%. Yeah, it looks great right now. So I don't know about you, but I don't like having oily hands. With my type of work, I need to have really, really coarse, durable hands. And oil softens them up. And so if I got oil in my hands, you bet I'm going to take advantage and just take care of a lot of business. You know what I mean? Look at this cute little cross peen. Love this little hammer. Little like tack hammer, you know? All right, let's move over to the bolt peens. This thing's been needing it for a while. Oh yeah, good point. Can't get my finger in the prit wheel. It's a little tight. You guys are killing me. Yeah, isn't that just getting lovely? Oh, I got an itch on my nose, but I got crap all over my hands. I don't want to scratch it. Ah! There we go. We're good. Crisis averted. Oh yeah, these are happy hammers. Happy hammers. AC, I appreciate that. Yeah, living authentically is a good place to be. And that doesn't have to be to any time period. Sometimes it's a matter of principles. Living authentically you. You owe it to nobody to change your behavior, you know, if it doesn't work for you. Just be a good moral person. That's it. Simple as that. There you go. AC 100%. 100%, my friend. Okay. Oh yeah, look at these. Look at these happy hammers. Look at that. Nice little sheen, freshly oiled sheen on them. Oh man, the anvil's happy. Whoo cheese. Yeah. Can't forget the 8-pound. What are you guys working on? You relaxing? You spending some time relaxing this beautiful Sunday? Maybe doing some Halloween decorating? Oh God, I'm so excited. I am so darn excited. Yeah, give these poor dry fools a little drink. I think that's, maybe a couple more. You're dyeing your hair? Which color? That's exciting. Actually, I'll be putting that wedge in there after the oil sets. I'll make myself something fairly custom for that. Copper! How cool is that? Gardening and listening to, oh, that's fantastic. Yuleway, that makes me so happy. Doing a little gardening. I was gardening this morning. It's true. Commando, 100%. Hi. Yeah, all these hammers are just getting a nice little drink of oil. I'll let those set for tomorrow morning. Everybody's going to be nice and happy. You guys probably didn't realize how many hammers I have within arm's reach. Stopped by the market to pick up dog treats and flowers. That's fantastic. Question, where is Thor's hammer? If I knew, I wouldn't tell you. Made a pallet breaker yesterday. Oh, that's fantastic. Where am I from? Paso Robles, California. All right, we're running out of oil, and that's fine because I'm running out of care. You know what I mean? Now this is very dangerous. This rag right here. Be very careful if you're going to use boiled linseed oil, pure boiled linseed oil. This can get real hot and catch fire. It's happened to me before. So I'm going to make sure to dispose of this correctly before wrapping up the shop today. When that happens, I don't know. But what I'm concerned about is my next sip of tea, which I'm going to have right meow. Question, am I a blacksmith? Oh yeah. Go check out my work. Go check it out. Also, get the apron, right? Get the apron all nice and oiled up. Waste not. If it's already on your hands, it's good for just about anything in your shop. Oh, let me grab something real quick. All right. There we go. Got a little bit of a mess. That's okay. We got linseed oil going down to the eye of that hammer. It's a good day. Runs the kettle. Yeah. Get yourself set. Get yourself set up with, it's Sunday. It's time for either a refreshing drink or something nice and warm and cozy. You know what I mean? Do you make horseshoes? No. But I am making horses right now. Actually, come with me. So here's the banister that I'm forging. The banister is going to climb across that 2-story wall up there. But here's the plan sets. So I'll be forging all of these horses with all the stained glass. They're all going to be stampeding down this banister. Now, and I've yet to forge the actual horses themselves. But it's going to be super cool and anatomical, right? So those will be bucking and carrying on. Their manes are going to be flowing throughout. It's going to be freaking awesome. I can't wait. I just got done cutting out all of the, actually right here. These are all of the placings for the stained glass. All those 1/4-inch steel settings for all the glass. Really excited for that. It's going to be awesome. Ooh, almost gym time. Rage, nice. Hope you get yourself a good workout in, my friend. Charles, I'm glad you like it. Yeah, I've been doing it for like 25 years now, but I'm always learning. Always learning, getting better. That's what we all should be doing, you know? Well, hey, hi from the Philippines, Charles. Cheers, buddy. I like the 3D cardboard mock-up. That's a great idea. You know what, Eric? The reason I do that is because that 1/4-inch plate that I'll be forging those horses from, they're all going to be convexed, right? They'll be, especially probably across the ribs and the hip of the horse. It's all going to be very convex and 3-dimensional. And when you convex something or like dish something out concaved, it shrinks, right? That material is now having to cross over this plane, and then it gets smaller across that flat 2-dimensional plane. So I made it out of cardboard first so that I know once it's flat, when I cut it out of plate, I know that dimension is going to be correct. You know what I mean? So it's funny when the cardboard is unrecognizable, flat, but when it's all curved up like that, the dimensions are correct. Do you have a forge? I have many forges. I do from coal forging to gas forging, all different processes. Yes. Oh, you're too kind. You're too kind. You're going to make me blush. All right, one last little sip. I think we're just about out of tea. Maybe I'll sell it or something. I don't know. Or it'll go into storage or something. I don't know what I'm going to do with it. But I'm going to have to break it apart. I'm going to have to take the whole thing apart. So don't get too attached to it, because I'm going to tear it apart and use all of those pieces to cut it out of steel. Ooh, cow, that's fun. Horse is going to be 3D, yeah, on both sides. Yeah, so it's going to be pretty intense. I can't wait to build it. Also, the client is interested in having me add copper, brass, and like polished aluminum or stainless steel to them, because each of the horses represent a family member, and they're going to like assign each family member with a different color. So each one will be kind of unique and personal to each one of them. New sub, welcome. Oh no, Eric, I'm so sorry. Question, where did you learn this trade? Kind of on my own. I picked up tips and tricks from all sorts of different types of people, different walks of life, accidental mentors, that sort of thing. And I was just very insatiable. Back when I was getting started, there was no forged in fire. There was no one was doing this. It was almost a truly dead trade. And I just got busy. I started kind of forging through intuition. And I just got better and better. Now I'm teaching classes and stuff. It's a lot of fun. I'm still alive, yeah, but about to roll out. I'm about to roll out, my friends, because I got a whole day to get to. I'm going to finish up that wedge that we're going to build. It's going to be great. Well, everybody, I freaking love you guys. Don't forget to freaking love each other, okay? Get out there, do something kind for somebody, maybe just for yourself. And don't forget to strike true. All right, everyone. Have a terrific Sunday. Cheers, everybody. Thanks for hanging out with me. Bye-bye. Strike true. Hell yeah.